Hey, good evening, friends. It's Carl. Welcome to the kitchen. So that means we're not having a shave. We're probably either cooking or making coffee. Tonight, we're going to be making some coffee. Yeah. Another coffee video. I know. I get you. But I got a new coffee gimmick. Yeah. I know. Another coffee gimmick. Well, this one was an impulse buy. Oh, wait. I do that a lot, too. Anyway, this is what had happened. I was at the local Mediterranean deli / market getting some shawarma for lunch. Delicious place called David Davod's. And as I was waiting for my food to be done, I was kind of wandering around seeing what kind of groceries they had. And I ran across this little guy. This, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't know until I found it, it's called an Ibrik, or a briki, or a sebze. This is the traditional way or traditional pot used for making Turkish, Armenian, Greek coffees. So that's what we're making today. This will be my first time trying that style of coffee and first time trying to make it. Now, so I bought the stuff, came home, did a little research online, and this is what I found. You need Greek or Turkish coffee, and really the difference is what brand you buy and where the coffee comes from. I bought the Lumides brand, so I'm technically going to be making a Greek coffee. This is pre-ground, super fine, finer than espresso. Apparently it should have the texture of talcum powder. So I bought a bag of Lumides, and you just brew it up. You put a little coffee, put a little water, bring it to a boil, pour it into a cup. That's it. Pretty simple. I guess if you're grounding it by hand, it's a little more work because it's so fine. We're not doing that. The other thing that I found that differentiates Greek from Turkish, aside from who's making it and where the coffee comes from, is the technique you use. A lot of the traditional how to make Greek coffee videos I saw online, you kind of do a boil, a light boil, and then as the coffee begins to boil, you pull it off, put it back on, pull it off. You do that a couple times, and that's how you build the crema on the top of the coffee. In a lot of the traditional Turkish brewing videos, once you start to get the crema, you scoop it out with a spoon, put it in the bottom of your cup, and then you add the coffee after that, and then you get a nice crema on top. So I'm going to do the Greek method today, and maybe later on down the road, if I pick up some Turkish coffee, we'll try it the Turkish way. So that being said, we're going to get to brewing. Now, for those of you who know or have been watching my coffee making videos, you guys know I do weights and measures and things like that, and that really kind of bugged me too, because in most of the videos I saw, there was no measuring, there was no weighing. It was a cup of water into the briki, and then add one heaping spoonful of coffee for every cup of water. And you guys know that in my brain that doesn't make sense, so I scoured the internet to find a ratio and proportion, and I found one website that said 6 grams of coffee to 60 milliliters of water. So that's what we're going to be doing today, so like a 10-to-1 ratio. And even if you look at the coffee, the instructions on the coffee, it says for each desired cup, measure 1 cup of cold water into a narrow-necked coffee pot and add 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of coffee for every cup that you're making. Drove me crazy. So I'm going to make 2 cups. So I'm going to be using 12 grams of coffee and 120 grams of water. We'll get it all set up and we'll get to cooking. Alright, well, so I goofed it. I didn't have any filtered water ready, so the water is filtering. So let's open up this bag of coffee. Like I said, Lumides brand, made by Nestle, imported from Athens, Greece. So let's see what we got going on here while the water filters. Ooh, smells very good. Alright, you guys can see in there what we look like. Let me grab a spoon. Bad YouTuber out of frame. There you go. You can see the texture of it. It is very fine and powdery. Yeah, that's looks like talcum powder. It's actually finer than any of my grinders will make. Anyway, the water's done. Let's get making coffee. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so 120 mils or 120 grams of water. And of course I went over. That's what happens. You go over. All right, so we'll get the water in the pot. So we're going to do 120 grams or 120 mils. Try not to go over. All right. So a little over, but it's okay. All right, so 120 grams. 1 scoop of sugar per cup. And then we're going to do about 12 grams of coffee. I really think that doing it the traditional way, just heaping scoops, is probably much easier than doing all this weighing. So 12 grams of coffee. All right. So the other thing that I found or read was once you mix the water and the ingredients, some people say you should stir it before, and some people say you should stir it during the cooking process. So I asked the gentleman at the market, and he said, stir it before, and once you're done stirring, once you start cooking, don't touch it, and don't mix it anymore even after you're done. So because I had to use the sugar cubes because I didn't have any ground sugar, I'm just going to kind of mix this up, and then we'll get it over to the water, or to the fire, not water. I think I got the sugar cubes dissolved. Alright, so onto the fire. Alright, so I've got the coffee on a medium heat for, it's been a few minutes now, and I'm starting to see just the very first hints of foam. So what we're looking for is some bubbling around the edges, and then we're going to lift off the Ibrik, let the foam settle, and then set it back down. One thing that I read on every site, no matter whether it was a Turkish coffee making website or a Greek coffee making website, they all said if you let the coffee come to a full boil, then you've ruined your coffee. So we're going to try not to do that. The other thing that I did read in a lot of places said it's a skill, and it takes some practice to get it right. So hopefully I'll get it good enough on the first time that it won't turn me off from making coffee this way forever. That's not going to happen. So what can we talk about while we're waiting for this to boil? The coffee smells delicious. I can't wait to taste it. I think I mentioned before that Turkish coffee and Greek coffee is typically something that's used as a dessert coffee. One, because of the sugar content. Some people use up to 3 servings of sugar per, there we go, starting to go a boil. 3 servings of sugar per person. So it can be pretty sweet, and it seems to be a little on the involved side as far as making it, so I don't think this is something that most people would make every day, at least at first thing in the morning. Maybe after dinner or for guests or something, I can totally see this happening, because it's just impressive, the whole process. And if you can get the skill and the art of making the coffee taste good, I think it'd be a feather in your cap, and it'd be something that people would look forward to, coming over, hanging out, having a small cup of coffee after a meal or whatever. But I think I may have jumped the gun a little bit there. but we're still just cooking. And like I said, the biggest no-no that every website said was don't let it boil. So I'm really trying to pay attention and not overboil this. But we're starting to get some light foam on the top. I wonder if this would be a faster process if I was using a gas flame. I mean, maybe next time when I make this, I'll try it with a camp stove. Not 100% sure. But I'm really starting to smell the coffee cooking. Like I said, I'm just waiting for that little simmer so we can get this served up. I'm excited. Just out of curiosity. That little brass handle there, not very hot at all. So that's always a bonus. I'm not going to burn my hand, hopefully. Alright, so we're starting to get some foam. I don't know how well you can see it building up around the around the edges there. That's the first hint of the crema. Man, you guys are probably like, there is nothing like watching a pot boil. Super fun. This is apparently the longest part. So, but you got to cook it at a medium heat. There we go. So, starting to get a little simmer. All right, you can see it starting to dance. So once it kind of comes together at the top, there we go. We're going to come off for a minute, let it settle. Put it back on. Let that crema start to continue to boil. You'll see we're starting to get some nice CO2 release, some nice bubbles. So now in the Turkish method, you would scoop this off right now with a spoon and pour it into the cups. But in the Greek method, you let it get to about right there. Bring it up, let it settle. Go back down. And since this is an electric stove, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat. And then we're going to, there we go. We're going to come off. There we go. And then we're going to move over to the cups. And the other thing that I read is when you're pouring for two, sorry about that, guys. When you're pouring for two, you always alternate between the cups. Whoa. So that you don't get, everybody gets, or the second person doesn't get a whole bunch of sludge. Because remember, we just boiled this. And there's going to be a lot of stuff in the bottom, as you can maybe see. Still a lot of sediment. Well, my crema didn't come out very hot, but that's okay. It looks very nice. Let's get repositioned and we'll give it a taste. Well, all right, that was the first brew. Probably need a little bit of practice, I ain't gonna lie. But take a look at the coffee. Take a look at it. Looks pretty good. Crema's a little weak. That could have been the pour, it could have been the brew. I don't know. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that's super sweet. Yeah, very sweet. Very rich. That's really good. I don't know if there's any Turkish or Greek coffee gurus out there. Probably wouldn't like it for my first try. That's really good. The coffee is really good. No bitterness, no sourness. A lot of sweetness from the sugar. I probably could have gotten away with one cube for 2 servings, but man, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I can't tell you how excited I am that worked out. Can only get better from here. I'm gonna keep brewing this. Gonna get some Turkish coffee and try making Turkish coffee, and just gonna get better at this. This is fantastic. thank you guys. I'm going to go finish both of these cups and then probably, I don't know, go to bed? I don't know. Probably not go to bed because I'm going to be full of caffeine. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope it wasn't too boring watching the pot boil. This coffee is fantastic. If you get a chance, give it a shot. If you go to a restaurant or someplace where you can buy it and try it, go for it. It's a little bit of investment, try and make it at home. But if you've never tried Greek coffee, give it a shot. It's fantastic. That's all I've got today, guys. Hope you have a great weekend, a great Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow for the Sunday shave. If you watch the shaving videos, drink coffee, drink tea, drink what you like. Just don't drink and drive. Go spend some time with your friends and family. I'll see you next time. Have a great evening, and God bless y'all. Hey, y'all, just a quick pop back. I wanted to show you guys something. I mentioned that there's going to be sediment in the bottom of the pot, and some people call it mud coffee, and now I know why. There you go. That's what's in the bottom. There's probably some in the bottom of the cups too. Let's find out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so don't kick them back if you get a taste. That's it. Thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you have a great evening. We'll see you next time. Peace.